Welcome back, listeners, to another riveting episode of Behind the Blitz, where we unravel the intricate threads of the media machine, one touchdown at a time. Today's discussion ventures into the end zone with the spotlight on none other than Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, and the NFL's latest PR spectacle. Remember the whimsical moment when the NFL Twitter bio morphed into, quote, NFL Taylor's version? A seemingly innocent gesture, yet beneath the surface lied a calculated move to tap into Swift's colossal fan base, extending a gridiron invitation to those who would normally venture near a football field. But that's merely the tip of the iceberg. For years, the NFL has been skillfully transforming players into brands and fans into consumers, all in pursuit of the coveted triple threat: screen time, open wallets, and echoing voices parroting their carefully crafted narratives. But don't fall for it. Don't let them drown out our genuine love for the game with manufactured drama and celebrity gossip. Remember the roar of the crowd when your team wins? The shared passion with your friends on game day? That's what matters. Why is the NFL pushing this agenda so passionately? What message lurks beneath the surface? And how does it weave into their broader strategy? Let's not kid ourselves. The Kelce Swift pairing is marketing brilliance. Two megastars, a dash of romance, and voila, instant headlines. Let's face facts. The NFL isn't a charitable organization. It's a thriving business, adept at turning celebrities into magnets for eyeballs, which in turn translate to ratings and revenue. It's a straightforward equation, right? Yet we are more than mere statistics on a spreadsheet. We're the heartbeat of the game, the ones who bleed team colors and belt out the fight song with hoarse voices. We deserve more than manufactured moments and celebrity cameos. But it's not solely about views and clicks, is it? The NFL has strategically fostered connections, from Kelce's family cheering in the stands to those ingenious Swift Chiefs jerseys. Here's where the plot thickens. Is this connection authentic, or is it an orchestrated performance? Are we witnessing a genuine evolution in fan engagement, or perhaps its exploitation? The NFL's track record in prioritizing authentic fan interaction is spotty, marked by blackouts and rising ticket prices, leaving the average fan feeling lost in the celebrity shuffle. However, there's room for both narratives. We can revel in Kelce and Swift stories without turning a blind eye to the NFL motives. We can demand transparency and fan-driven experiences while still relishing the touchdown celebrations and catchy lyrics. Join us as we navigate the delicate balance between spectacle and sincerity in the ever-evolving world behind the Blitz. To further discuss this conversation today, I have with me not only a football mega fan, unfortunately, of the Washington Commanders, but also a lifetime Swiftie, Grace. How you doing today, Grace?
I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
Not too bad.
I am unfortunately a Washington fan, so don't hold that against me and my opinions.
I know you as well as a lot of other people. When the news first kind of broke that Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were kind of getting into it, I knew that sparked your interest. What was your initial reactions when the news broke?
I was really excited. I also thought it was kind of hilarious. So over the summer, when Taylor had a concert at Arrowhead, which is the Chiefs stadium for anyone who does not know, Travis did go, and he talked about in the podcast after that he has with his brother, New Heights. He was like, I made a little bracelet and I wanted to go meet Taylor afterward. I put my phone number on it. Like, I really wanted to meet her. And he says, Taylor's let me people after the show, so he didn't get to give her the bracelet. So, like, the idea of it, I thought it was kind of funny and kind of adorable because I've always liked Travis Kelce. When I liking football, you have a couple of players that you just keep an eye on, and he's always been one of mine. So then when she showed up at the game, I was just like flabbergasted. I was like, this is insane. Like, cannot be happening. So then I started to think, like, what that would do for the NFL. And, I was thinking, I bet they're going to go nuts on this one, and they did. So
it's really interesting because, like, even from the beginning, before I guess we can put in quotes, like, there was confirmed relationship, the NFL still went on a runway with it. Like, they were still kind of posting the teasing with the bracelets, and it helped obviously Travis and his brother Jason Kelce's podcast, New Heights, and that obviously gained attention from it. So even before the relationship started, it still felt like the NFL media was trying to capitalize on it. I will say, I have noticed, I think in the first couple weeks of it being kind of new, it was really, really kind of being tried to force down our throats. One example is,
agreed,
when Twitter bot was changed for a little bit. And, I think there was I don't know if you remember last year, did you on TikTok, it was like the counting the amount of Russell Wilson touchdowns compared to the bathrooms he has in his house.
Yes, I do know what you're
So
talking
I'm pretty sure
about.
it was like that same user, I think, like did a compilation of like comparing the amount of times NFL talks about Travis Kelce versus talks about, and I can't remember what like NFL thing they used, but it's like talked about like an actual player on the team. I think can't
Yeah.
remember the name, but they talked about, especially the first couple games, they just talked and showed Taylor Swift.
A
So,
lot. Yes.
originally that's I think where a lot of the disengagement from the true fans came from, because it seems like the NFL has kind of commodificated its celebrity engagement instead of having its genuine engagement there, because it feels like it
Yeah.
with celebrity status. I remember I was watching the Packers game yesterday, and they did like a 2-minute bio on Simone Biles because she was
I was just
standing.
about to say that actually, and they posted a lot on social media about like two icons in the house and like nothing about the actual player. But I thought it was funny. Like I do think it's important to talk about who's coming to see people play, but I think that the celebrities coming has done a little bit different with it. Like, because a few weeks ago, I was watching the Eagles game that Bradley Cooper was at.
Mhm.
And then for like 2 or so days after that, I saw a lot about like Bradley Cooper's fan status of the Eagles and like stuff like that. And it was less about how the Eagles, who do they play? Beat the Bills in overtime. And I saw more about Bradley Cooper being a lifelong Bills fan and the great drive that the Eagles had in overtime. So it's like, it's not just Taylor Swift. I think with her star power though, the NFL is doing what they do with everyone and like blowing it up by 10.
And I've also heard something, you probably would be able to confirm a little bit more about this, the halftime show. So I heard a rumor, may or may not be true, that the NFL had asked Taylor to kind of perform on halftime, and she declined. So there's a big reason for that is the NFL does not pay a halftime performers. They rely solely on the whoever's performing at halftime is getting marketing, is getting merchandising sales, it's getting this year's Usher, who obviously has kind of fallen a little bit under the radar. So he's hoping that he can kind of put there. So
Boost it.
a lot of people are saying that the NFL is trying to do this because they want to get on Taylor's good side, and maybe down the road,
The water in the future.
they want her to perform, maybe even if not at a Super Bowl, look at a Thanksgiving.
Like Dolly. Yeah.
Just like or something like that. But
So go ahead.
all you.
In the past, part of the reason Taylor hadn't done it before is she used to be, I don't know if she still is, but she used to be sponsored by Coke, and Pepsi has sponsored the halftime show for almost 10 years. This is one of the first years it's not being sponsored by Pepsi that I can remember. It's Apple Music this year. So I think that is also an interesting way to think of it too, is that they're trying to do it in the future, because it didn't seem like a possibility in the upcoming because Taylor was connected to Coca-Cola. So that's an interesting perspective of it. This year, I think she's on tour in February. So I think that's a good way to look at it, is they're trying to get her to bring them a halftime show. Because if you do the Eras Tour Ticketmaster thing, they took that to Congress. You know what I mean? Taylor is everywhere. If she can bring that much insanity to a tour, think of the viewership if she brings, to the halftime show. And because I watch obviously the Super Bowl for the Super Bowl, but I also am watching for the halftime show. Like the year that it was Mary J. Blige and Snoop and Dr. Dre and Kendrick, I was excited for that show. And was that last year?
It was when the Rams were playing.
Oh, Rihanna was last year. That's right.
Yeah, Rams.
But yeah, one of the biggest things that people talk about after the Super Bowl is the halftime show. So I think that especially with the star power of her, it'd be like having Beyonce come to do it. Taylor and Beyonce, I feel like would both be their holy grail of halftime show.
And it's something that the NFL can use to once again raise the ticket prices, because that is an ongoing kind of huge dispute in the NFL. Is games have started to become for the elites. I know you, me, Val, and your sister were kind of looking at going to the Dolphins game this weekend. We looked at the one on that game, and it was just so much money for a Washington.
So expensive.
Washington is one of the worst teams in the NFC, at least.
We suck.
And it was $100.
And I can admit that.
$110 for the nosebleed. And that's just.
You see pictures, and a lot of it. Another issue is that your home field is not really at least in Washington, looking like a home field. I saw a picture and it was all blue.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, there was a lot there.
like I read somewhere that Chiefs tickets, they sold so many after Taylor went into that first game, which I thought was so funny. I was like, you're not going to see her. Like, she's in a box.
You'll see video just like you do on TV. But kind of going back to, know, being able to her perform at Super Bowl, not only are you selling a ticket to a Super Bowl, which already cost a boatload of money.
A lot of money.
You're selling a ticket to a Taylor Swift concert, which also costs a boatload.
Already costs a lot of money.
So that's wherever Taylor Swift is going to perform, it's just going to go up. And that's just kind of another example of NFL's kind of disregard for genuine fan engagement, is because they're trying to market this thing as, it is becoming an event for the elites. It's becoming an event.
I've been a fan. I'm 19. I've been a fan since I was basically born. I've only been to one professional. Well, I've been to 2 professional games. I went to one Pro Bowl, and the tickets for it were pretty cheap. It was a few years ago. And then I've been to one Washington game, which played the Chiefs, and we lost. So.
Right. But yeah, well, thank you so much for joining me. You definitely kind of look a lot from the Taylor Swift side perspective, that as while, I do love the ring songs, I'm not a giant nowhere near as you or yourself. Thank you so much for joining me.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
In wrapping up this engaging episode of Behind the Blitz, we've embarked on riveting exploration of the intersection between sports, celebrity, and media strategy. Our focus today honed in on the unexpected alliance of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, illuminating the NFL's nuanced approach to transforming players into cultural icons and fans and avid consumers. The episode dissected the calculated moves within the media machine, exposing the NFL's artful crafting of player narratives and the meticulous cultivation of celebrity partnerships. The attention-grabbing shift in the NFL's Twitter bio to embrace a Taylor's version hinted at a strategy reaching beyond traditional football audiences, extending an invitation to Swift's massive fan base. Yet beneath the surface lies a question of authenticity. Are these connections genuine expressions of fan engagement, or are they orchestrated performances for commercial gain? Are Taylor's fans tuning in to watch Travis going to continue being fans when Travis is long gone or the relationship has passed? The podcast provocatively challenges listeners not to be swayed by manufactured drama and celebrity gossip, but to hold on to the genuine love for the game, epitomized by the camaraderie and passion shared on game days. A thought-provoking addition to the discussion came from a special guest, Grace, who offered a unique perspective as both a devoted football fan and an unwavering Swiftie. Her insights delved into the personal excitement generated by the Kelce-Swift pairing, highlighting the potential impacts on fans and the NFL's adeptness at leveraging such unexpected connections. As the conversation unfolded, we touched on the NFL's potential motivations, including the rumored invitation for Taylor Swift to grace the Super Bowl halftime show. This opens up the dialogue on the NFL's resilience on celebrity engagements and the delicate balance between genuine fan experiences and the commodification of celebrity status. In navigating the complexities of the evolving world behind the Blitz, we encourage our audience to remain vigilant. When reveling in the excitement of celebrity cameos and catchy lyrics, we urge fans to demand transparency from the NFL, ensuring that the true essence of the game, the shared passion, the exhilarating victories, and the authentic fan experiences remain at the forefront of the narrative. The careful balance between showmanship and authenticity continues, giving us a clear view of how sports, media, and celebrity culture are always changing.